In this short video, I'm going to show you how rules can save you a significant amount of time in the Alphaletz system. Firstly, go to the top right hand corner of our webpage where you'll see the login button. Once you've logged in, you'll arrive at the Alphaletz dashboard. Scroll down on the left hand side and look for the Smart Banking tab. When you click on that, you'll see two tabs underneath it, one for bank rules and one for transactions. Make sure you've connected your bank properly and all the transactions are showing in the Review tab here. Above the Transaction tab, you'll see the Bank Rules tab. And in here, I've already got two bank rules set up, one for income and one for expenses. Once the rules are set up, you'll see the Reconcile buttons on the right-hand side turn green. So to set up a bank rule, I'm first going to look for the transaction that I want to set the bank rule against. And in this example, I can see the tenant's name with a property address under the Payee column. However, before I set up a rule, I must have a rental payment that I can match the transaction against. So I'm going to go into the property and set up a new rent schedule using the Rent Scheduler tab here at the top. Next, follow the prompts, adding the name of the tenant, the start date, the length of the initial tenancy, and the rent amount. And this is the payment that we're going to match up from the bank transactions. Then save the tenancy. In the background, you'll see the tenant payment schedule is now all built. And you'll also see there's an option to match all these payments from the bank. And I'll come back to that in a moment. But for now, I'm going to skip this step and leave these payments as outstanding. And you can see they're overdue, which is why they're in this purple color. So now I'm going to head back to the bank rules here on the left hand side, and I'm going to create a new rule for this particular rent payment. I'm going to start with all conditions match, and I'm going to put in the exact amount of the rent because I don't want the condition to match unless the rent is exact. Then I'm going to put in the tenant name, and I'm going to put it that contains Merrill, because if you remember from the bank transaction, we can see his surname under the payee. So I'm going to use that to identify this particular payment. I could also have used City Road if I'd wanted, because that was also identified in the payment reference. Then I'm going to match it to City Road, and I'm going to name the rule. Naming the rule helps me find it when I go back to my bank rules page. Now what you'll notice is the total number of matches is 0, because we haven't actually reconciled the payments yet. So I can go in and I can do this one by one by clicking on this button here, or I can just go to the button at the top and accept all changes in one go. And now if I go back to the rent scheduler and the property page, I can see all these payments have been successfully matched. And if I click on the bank icon next to the payments, it'll take me back to the bank page and I can see all these payments are now categorized. If you're setting a tenancy up for the first time, we do have a way where you can auto-create your first rule. So let me go into the rent scheduler and add a new tenancy, just in the way we did before. Except this time, I'm going to click on the Match from Bank button. And when I click on it, you can see it's found 5 matching rent payments at the top. And you'll also notice down the bottom, I have an option to create a bank rule. And you can see that it's auto-populated all the fields that we just manually added in the last part of the video. The only bit you need to add in here is whether you want to identify the payment from the tenant name or from the property name, or maybe if you get the rent from a letting agent, you might need to put the letting agent name in there, but just something on the bank transaction so we can identify the payment and match the rule. And you're now ready to reconcile your transactions in exactly the same way we did earlier. So I'm going to set up a bank rule for a mortgage payment. So I can type in mortgage here, and you can see that the system's found a number of different companies. But I'm going to pick this one here, the Kensington Mortgage Company, and I'm going to click on the button to create a bank rule. Now in this example, I'm not looking for an exact amount. I just want to match all the payments that come in from Kensington Mortgage Company under the payee. So again, I'm going to select the payee. I'm going to click on Contains in the drop down, and I'm just going to put in Kensington. I don't even need to put in mortgage company. It's just looking for one word that can identify this payment. Now I'm going to click on expenses, and I'm going to put all these expenses against City Road, and I'm going to call the description a mortgage payment. I can then select the category that I want to categorize the transaction against, like loan interest and finance costs. But if I want to set up a custom category, I can click on the Edit Category button there and select my own. Next, I need to allocate this payment against a supplier. And what we're looking for is the Kensington Mortgage Company. If I can't find it in my supplier list, I need to go to the Supplier tab on the left-hand column and add Kensington Mortgage Company in as a new company, or effectively as a supplier. Once I've done this, I can go back to the bank rules, select the supplier, and now I can see Kensington Mortgages in the drop-down. If I want, I can associate this rule just to one bank account, or I can click at the top of the page and get it to search across all the bank accounts that are linked to the Alphaletz system. Then again, name the rule so you can search for it, and click Save. Now I can see the rule set up. Notice that it's found 109 transactions, and with one click I can reconcile and categorize all these mortgage transactions, where you'll now find them in the Expenses tab against the Property page. You'll also find them against the supplier, so if you go into the supplier record, you'll find all the transactions linked to them as well. And all this information is securely backed up in the cloud with access from anywhere. Remember, you can subscribe for free to our YouTube channel and stay updated to all our new videos. Thank you for watching.